Hello, everyone. We are just going to wait a few more seconds for people to come on in while we discuss this. I thank you so much for caring about your country. Man, I just want to say thank you to every one of you who actually care about this country, who have actually cared enough to study, to make sure that you know that this country is a republic and not a democracy. Because when you get fooled into thinking that this country is a democracy, things like non citizens voting, things like non citizens voting will happen more and more. And the reason is because somebody is taking advantage of your ignorance. They're taking advantage of your ignorance. A lot of people are like, well, I don't care if the newcomers come across my border and they sit on in my backyard. I'm going to feed them a sandwich. I'm going to feed them some water. I'm going to feed them. Well, that's very good of you. But the principle is when you do a crime, then you will have to face justice for that crime. As a matter of fact, a lot of people think that salvation didn't cost anyone anything, and you can just um, eh, believe that God raised Jesus from the dead, confess Him as Lord, and there you go, you're saved. It didn't cost anyone anything. Actually, that's not true, right? It's always going to cost someone something. Freedom, and you can write this down in the comments, freedom is always going to cost someone something. Come on, write it down. Cost something. Freedom costs something. The chastisement or the punishment for our peace, so that we could have peace with God, right? So that we could have healing in our bodies, that chastisement, that punishment was upon Jesus Christ. And it's because of that we can have peace. It's because of that we can have healing in our bodies. It's because of that freedom costs someone something. It may not cost you something, but it costs someone something. To live in this nation, this free nation, it costs plenty of people something. It may not have cost us anything, but someone else. Is called the philosophy of redemption, and it's throughout nature. So even if you did not have any biblical intelligence, you don't have to. Just go outside and look at the grass. Then look at the cows and the sheep and the goats eating that grass. Then be reminded that something or some plant had to die in order for that cow to be nourished. The plant had to go away in order for me to enjoy a delicious meal. Some cow has to sacrifice in order for me to get the best ribeye that you have ever tasted. In order for me to get that, some animal had to give up their life for me. In order for me to have the best fried chicken, hmm, mashed potatoes and gravy, green beans, something had to sacrifice their life for me. Aren't you thankful for redemption? Aren't you thankful for salvation? Aren't you thankful for America? America and a lot of countries. A lot of countries have gotten rich and became superpowers off of America's back. This is what they should be learning in school, folks. I know you probably didn't know this. Let me get something for you, okay? Just really fast. You've got to see this. It's going to take about 5 seconds. I've got to look at that book. I have to show you this. Watch this now. If you are worried, if you are worried about your kids not knowing about American history, I want to show you something. This stands for Freedom Project. We have a Freedom Project Academy. Watch this. You probably didn't you probably didn't know this, but the most powerful countries that exist have been the byproduct of the riches of the United States. While this is not the purpose of this video, right? It is a provable fact that such countries as Germany, write this down. Teach it to your children and your grandchildren. Russia, China, etc., would not be the powers that they are today without the help of the industry and or financing from the United States. Folks, what sets us apart from the rest of the world is the fact that God is our Lord, that Jesus Christ, the God that sent Jesus Christ to the earth to be born of a woman. Oh, yes, then to die, then to be buried, then to raise again from the dead so that you could raise up out of your trespasses and sins, so that you could raise in newness of life, so that you could be a new creature and not just turn over a new leaf, but be a new creature and rule and reign with Jesus Christ, in Jesus Christ, not just when you die, but right now. See, us that have received the abundance of grace and the gift of righteousness do reign as kings in life by Jesus Christ. That's the reason why the United States has untold riches. That's the reason why all of these tyrants are gathered together against the people, against the United States of America, and it's taking him such a long time to rip the riches out of the Americans' hands. But look, I still hear children playing. I still hear music, right? I still see the sun shining. We still have a lot of our freedoms today. Why? Because there are saints praying. Because there are Christians that are on their knees and that are praying for their legislators. There are Christians that are still active and they're calling up senators, calling up representatives, and the representatives and senators are calling them and saying things like, "Thank you, CJ, for your support. I can't imagine where I'd be without you and your members' support." Do you know how valuable that is? Do you know how valuable that is? That's extremely valuable. And so, folks, non citizens voting, it's a serious thing. What we want to do is we want to get rid of that. And how do you get rid of it? Well, let's go ahead and make sure that you contact me at this right here, and I'll show you the whole thing. You say, CJ, why can't you share it on YouTube? Well, repeat that again. Why can't I share it on YouTube? Yeah, we got to exercise wisdom because I'm exercising wisdom. Okay, right here in the chat, you'll see where you can get in touch with me. All right, coolbuddy.substack.com. Let me know what's going on. Help me to help you. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and give you my email as well because I want to help you wherever you're at. Does that make sense? And let me know that you watched my Proclaim Liberty video and You actually want more information. And guess what? You'll get it. Okay? You'll get it. Because the non citizens voting is, it's like boiling a frog, is what it's like, right? It's in increments. And that's all the non citizen voting, why they put that in the election manual right here. Our Secretary of State, Adrian Fontes, nothing against him, nothing against him. But in the election manual, it says non citizens can vote. You and I both know that's not constitutional. But you're going to have people that go along with it and say, well, because it's in the election manual, there's nothing we can do. Hog wash. There's plenty you can do. All right. So, folks, please, please, please do not be persuaded by those that don't know what the Constitution says. Know what the Constitution says for yourself. We're going to do plenty of these at around 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We appreciate all of your time and effort that you put into making sure that our country stays a constitutional republic. God bless you, and we will see you in the next video.